good?
Yep.
We're live?
Yep.
Here we go. All right, Thursday they had 9 games in the NHL, and we'll kick things off in Boston as they're playing one of their bitter rivals in the Montreal Canadiens. An original 6 matchup.
AKA your favorite team.
Of course. So Montreal just played the night before. They beat Toronto, and then the next night they flew into Boston. Boston, I believe, had a day or two's rest, so I believe they had a little bit more shut-eye than the Habs. In the first period, Brendan Gallagher would open things up, getting a power play goal, his first of the season from Armia and Lane Hudson, 8 minutes and 26 seconds of the first period. Charlie McAvoy would tie things up with a power play goal of his own, getting his second goal of the season from Marchand and Elias Lindholm, who has 2 assists on the season so far. At that point, it was 11 minutes and 4 seconds of the first. Cole Caulfield would score just a minute and 14 seconds after that, getting his second goal of the year from Gooley and Lane Hudson. Mark Kastelik, I believe, was just recently signed in the offseason from the Bruins, would get his first goal of the year, tying things up at 2, assisted by Zadorov and Kopke, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. And that goal happened with 16 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the frame. Speaking of Elias Lindholm, he would break the tie, getting his first of the season, his first goal as a Bruin, assisted by Zadorov and Pasternak, and that goal happened with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. So heading into the second period, the Bruins had a 3-2 lead. David Pasternak would get a second goal of the year from Zacha and Lindholm. That goal happened with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go, giving the Bruins a 4-2 lead. Cole Kopke, I believe, would get his first goal of the season from Beecher and Carlo. And that goal happened with 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go. So heading into the third, the Bruins had a commanding 5-2 lead. Josh Anderson would get his first goal of the year. Only took him 2 games this year. Yay!
Yay! Oh.
Assisted by Gooley and Kapanen. 9 minutes and 5 seconds of the third, making it 5-3. Brendan Gallagher would get his second goal of the game with 4 minutes and 17 seconds to go, assisted by Evans and Armia. So things got interesting at the end. And then Mark Kastelik would score literally just 17 seconds after that, giving the Bruins another 2-goal cushion, his second of the night, assisted by Kopke and Carlo. And that goal happened with exactly 4 minutes remaining in the period. So 6-4 would be the final score. I believe Jeremy Swayman, that was his first game of the season since signing his new contract, and Caden Primo took the loss in this one for the Habs. Well, that's one game now. Just 8 more to go. The next game took place in Buffalo, and we had the Sabres, who played their first game in North America, taking on the Los Angeles Kings with their new retro logo, which I love, by the way. I wish they had kept those, but they're back. So you can see the score, but we'll still take a look and see who got on the goal score sheet. So in the second, there was no scoring in the first. Alex Tuch would get his first goal of the year, short-handed, unassisted, with 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go. The Buffalo Sabres had a 1-0 lead heading into the third period. Anze Kopitar would get his first goal of the year, assisted by Lafreniere and Joel Edmondson, and that will happen just 13 seconds in the third to tie things up. So a very quick turnaround from the second to the third period. Kopitar would get his second goal of the game, a power play marker, breaking the tie with just 1 minute and 38 seconds to go, assisted by Spence and Fiala. And then with just 42 seconds remaining, less than a minute after that, Kopitar would get a third goal, a hat trick, empty netter from Byfield and Kempe. So all 3 goals were scored by Anze Kopitar. So we'll take a look and see. Am I on the right date? Probably not. Where am I here? Come on.
Just hold on. Just 1 second.
Pending. So Kemper got the start in this one for the Kings, and for the Sabres, it was Luukkonen. So Luukkonen suffered the loss in this one, despite only giving up 2 goals. All right. So now, what's next? Ottawa and Florida. It's funny because we just played this game on the Xbox last night. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, we played NHL 24 and Ottawa won.
We didn't even know that
Ottawa actually won.
Yeah, so it's like EA predicted that they were going to win.
Except it was like 5-6.
Yeah, it was a high score.
Or 6-5 or something
like that. Anyways, yeah, the Sens opened up their season at home, taking on the Florida Panthers. They already played a game previously, their home opener. The Sens, like I said, this was their first game of the season, and this is the infamous Kachuk Bowl as you have Brady Tkachuk, the captain of the Ottawa Senators, and Matthew Tkachuk, the alternate captain.
I'll do another thumbs up. Yay!
In the first period, Tim Stützle would kick things off. In his first goal of the season, a power play marker from Norris and Sanderson. 5 minutes and 52 seconds of the opening frame. Shane Pinto would get his first goal of the season unassisted with 9 minutes and 18 seconds to go, so the Senators had a 2-0 lead heading into the second period. Gustav Forsling would get his first goal of the year from Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk. And that goal happened with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. The Senators were still clinging onto a 2-1 lead heading into the third, and with just a minute and 10 seconds to go, the Florida Panthers had their goalie pulled at that point, and Stützle will get his second goal of the game, assisted by Brady Tkachuk. So the Sens start the season off on a winning note. They're obviously 1-0-0, and the Florida Panthers are 1-1-0. Linus Ullmark made his Senators debut, and he shined to say the least, stopping 30 of 31 shots. And for the Panthers, the Bobrovsky was in, allowed 2 goals on 30 shots. So both very impressive stats, but unfortunately, the Panthers weren't able to get the victory in this one. Alrighty, the next game we'll take a look at is between the New Jersey Devils and the Toronto Maple Leafs. What, you're not a fan of one of these teams, or are you a fan of one of these teams?
I'm a fan of one of these teams, actually.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have it in my nickname, because I changed my nickname, but I didn't change my username. I'm still just hockey.
Gotcha. So, the New Jersey Devils were making their North America debut. They played 2 games overseas with the Sabres and won 2 games. So they were trying to stay perfect on the season, while the Leafs were just coming off a back-to-back, and they lost the previous night against the Canadiens. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, Stolarz did not get the start. He was the backup in this one. Hildeby is the backup at this point for the Leafs. He would get the start in this one for the Maple Leafs, and for the Devils, they would start, of course, the number 1 guy in Jacob Markstrom. Alrighty, so Max Pacioretty will get his first goal as a Maple Leaf, which sounds so weird coming from a Habs fan. I don't like seeing guys go from like one team to like a bitter rival. Like, come on, like go to Ottawa. I don't care. Toronto, are you kidding me? Anyways, it's like Joel Edmondson all over again. Holmberg would assist on that, assisted by Timmins, 8 minutes and 18 seconds of the first, giving the Leafs their first goal of the season. Bobby McMahon would get his first goal of the year from Jacob McKay and Lawrence, and that goal happened 11 minutes and 29 seconds of the first, giving the Leafs a 2-0 lead at that point. How fitting is it that Stephen Lawrence just signed with the Leafs? Apparently, just like a lot of things going around, he was a big fan of them, and he even predicted that he would play for the Leafs at some point. So his dream really did come true. I believe that was like from his high school yearbook or something. So he did his first goal as a member of the Maple Leafs, assisted by Kampf, and that goal happened with 5 minutes and 14 seconds to go, giving the Leafs a 3-0 lead at that point. Jesper Bratt would finally break the shutout at that point, getting the first goal for the Devils, unassisted, 42 seconds remaining in the period, so it was 3-1 at that point in favor of Toronto. John Tavares would get his first goal of the year from Domi and Ekman Larson, and that goal happened with 5 minutes and 8 seconds to go, so the Leafs had a 4-1 lead at that point. Timo Meier, I apologize, would get his second goal of the year from Kovacevic and Dillon, and that goal happened with 6 seconds remaining in the period. Unfortunately, they weren't able to mount a comeback. There was no scoring in the third, so 4-2 would be where we would sit. Wow, if I could speak, at the end of this game. So the Leafs are now 1-1-0 on the season, but for the Devils, this is their first loss. They are 2-1-0. Huh? Oh, you're not paying attention to this game, are you? Okay. Alrighty, the next game takes place in New York, where we have the Islanders. You don't hate the Islanders as much as the Rangers, right? Okay. So it's okay to talk about this one?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so the Islanders will get their first game of the season.
Just don't talk about Rangers.
Alright, I'll try not to. And for the Utah Hockey Club, they're making their first away game after winning their first home game against the Chicago Blackhawks. So in the first, Anthony Duclair, who was acquired from the Tampa Bay Lightning in the offseason, will get his first goal as a member of the New York Islanders, a power play marker, assisted by Dobson and Mark Barzell, and that goal happened 11 minutes and 10 seconds of the first period. Lawson Crouse will get his second goal of the year from Machelli and Logan Cooley. That goal happened with just under a minute, 59 seconds to be remaining in the period, I should say. So we were all tied up at 1 heading into the second. In the second Barrett Hayton get his second goal of the year from Sergachev and Keller, and that goal happened 13 minutes and 7 seconds of the second period. There was no other scoring the rest of that frame, so they had a 2-1 lead heading into the third. Bo Horvat would tie things up in the third, getting his first goal of the year from Anthony Duclair and Dobson, and that goal happened just a minute and 3 seconds into the third, tying the game up at 2. Jean-Gabriel Pajot would get his first goal of the year, a shorthanded marker from Holmstrom, 6 minutes and 52 seconds of the third, so the Islanders had a 3-2 lead at that point. Dylan Guenther would get his third goal of the year, a power play marker assisted by Keller and Sergachev, 7 minutes and 37 seconds of that third, tying the game up at 3. Maxim Topalkayev, if I pronounce that name, I probably screwed that up big time. Plekotov? Maxim, we'll call him Maxim. There we go. We'll get his first goal of the season from Nelson and Palmieri, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining, giving the Islanders a 4-3 lead. And then with just under 2 minutes remaining, Shane Doan's son Josh would get his first goal of the season from Kerfoot and Krause, and that goal happened with 1 minute 54 seconds remaining, tying the game up at 4. We would need overtime in this one, and Dylan Guenther, big surprise, would get his fourth goal of the year, the game-winning goal from Dursey and Logan Cooley, 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the overtime frame. So that for the Utah Hockey Club, they're starting off 2-0-0, very impressive for their first year in the league. And for the Islanders, I believe they're 0-1-0.
Actually, what I said before, when I said that it's okay to talk about the Islanders.
Yeah.
I know the next name is Red Wings Penguins.
Yeah.
So, New Jersey is rivals with basically Islanders.
Their rivals.
That's their biggest rival.
No, the Rangers.
What? The Rangers?
The Devils are definitely the biggest rival for the Devils is probably the Rangers. They probably have a rival with the Islanders, but yeah, with the Rangers, it's a completely different story. They met so many times in the playoffs; it was crazy.
Okay, forget what I said.
I mean, they probably are rivals with the Islanders,
Yeah,
but I feel, in my opinion, you could disagree. It's okay, but I think that for the Devils, it's definitely the Rangers.
How about you do a video where there's people that are commentating down? Who do you think are Devils' biggest rival or Devils rivals or something?
That'd be fantastic if I could do a Q&A. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off track here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The Red Wings took their home opener, I believe, and they played against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who played the night before. You can obviously see the final score. So a bounce-back game for the Penguins, to say the least. But in the first, Alex DeBrincat would get his first goal of the year from Raymond and Larkin, 3 minutes and 46 seconds, opening up the scoring for the Red Wings. Anthony Beauvillier was acquired in the offseason. Got his first goal of the year from Sidney Crosby and yet Puljujarvi, and that goal happened with just under 5 minutes remaining, 4 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact. So we were all tied up at 1 heading into the second period. Speaking of Beauvillier, he just would get his second goal of the game from Pettersson and Crosby, 2 minutes and 55 seconds of that period. Drew O'Connor would get on the goal scorer sheet, getting his first goal of the year from Evgeny Malkin and Eric Larson, 3 minutes and 53 seconds of that same frame, increasing the lead to 3-1. Marcus Pettersson would get on the goal scorer sheet unassisted, 5 minutes and 28 seconds of that same frame, making it 4-2 at that point. Sorry, 4-1 at that point. Vladimir Tarasenko would get his first goal as a member of the Red Wings since he signed with Detroit after spending last season between Ottawa and Florida. Would cut the deficit to 4-2, 12 minutes and 32 seconds of that same period. So at that point, it was 4-2 in favor of the Penguins. Eric Karlsson will get his first goal of the year, a power play marker from Letang and Malkin. A minute and 42 seconds of the third, increasing the lead to 5-2. Alex DeBrincat would get his second goal of the game, a power play marker from Gustafsson and Lucas Raymond, 8 minutes and 13 seconds of the period. And then Kevin Hayes would get his first goal as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins from Cody Glass, and that goal happened with 12 minutes and 21 seconds of the third period. So the Penguins are now 1-1-0 on the season, and as for the Red Wings, they start the season 0-1-0, but there's still a lot of games to be played. Still 81 for them. Alrighty, the next one took place, holy cow, there was a lot of games, in Nashville, where we had the Predators, and they would play host to the Dallas Stars. Waiting. Right? Hello?
Huh?
Huh?
Huh? What'd you say?
You're just out in left field.
Sorry.
So, the Nashville Predators would play against the Dallas Stars to get their season underway. Rupe Hintz would get the first goal of the game for the Stars. That'd be his first goal of the season from Stan Coleman and Wyatt Johnson, just 2 minutes and 5 seconds of the second frame. Jason Robertson would give the Stars a 2-0 lead, getting his first goal of the season from Hintz and Stan Coleman, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So they had a 2-0 lead very early in the game. Philip Forsberg would get a power play marker, cutting the deficit to 2-1, getting his first of the season from Marchessault and Roman Josi, 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the first frame. Mason Marchment would get his first goal of the year from Duchesne and Stankoven, a power play marker, 8 minutes and 3 seconds of the opening period. So less than 10 minutes in the game, there were 4 goals already. That's pretty crazy. With just 1:45 seconds remaining, Marchment would get his second goal of the game from Sagan and Harley. 4-1 at that point in favor of the Stars. Heading into the third period, they had a 4-1 lead. Tommy Novak would get his first goal of the season from Evangelista and Forsberg, 4 minutes and 37 seconds of the third, and Ryan O'Reilly would score late with 1:35 seconds remaining, assisted by Marchessault, making it 4-3 at that point. Unfortunately for the Predators, they weren't able to tie the game up, so the Stars would come away with a 4-3 victory. They're obviously 1-0 on the season, and the Predators are 0-1-0. But I have a lot of optimism for the Predators. I think they're going to be very successful this season. Alrighty, 2 NHL franchises that came in the league in the same year. The Columbus Blue Jackets were playing against the Minnesota Wild to kick the 2024-25 season off, and we'll dive in to see how the game went. So in the first period, Matt Boldy would get his first goal of the year from Johansson and Broden, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. In the second period, Ken Johnson would get the first goal of the year for the Blue Jackets from Sillinger and Severson, and that goal happened 2 minutes exactly in the second frame, tying the game up at 1. Joel Eriksson would get his first goal of the year to give the Wild a 2-1 lead from Johansson and Boldy, and that goal happened with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Matt Zuccarello in the third would make it 3-1 in favor of the Minnesota Wild, getting his first goal of the year, a power play marker from Boldy and Kaprizov. And that goal happened 9 minutes and 58 seconds.
Kaprizov,
thank you. Zach Werenski would cut the deficit to 3-2, with just under 3 minutes to go, getting his first goal of the year from Chenkov and Ken Johnson, a power play marker. But unfortunately, the Blue Jackets weren't able to mount a comeback, so they are 0-1-0, and the Wild are 1-0-0. And the last game, I believe, took place in San Jose. I hope it is, because this otherwise going to be like a 40-minute video.
17 minutes.
All right, we're halfway there. Where are we? So they start their season out at home against the St. Louis Blues. So in the first, Acklin Celebrini would get his first goal of his career from Ekblad and Wallmans. Congratulations on that one. 7 minutes and 1 second of the first, giving the Sharks a 1-0 lead. Pavel Buchnevich would get his first goal of the year from Kyrou and Roberg. 8 minutes and 51 seconds of that same frame. Tyler Toffoli would get his first goal of the year for the San Jose Sharks. Obviously, he was acquired last season from the where he played from the Winnipeg Jets. And Celebrini would get his first assist on that goal, as well as Ruda. And that goal happened with 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go, giving the Sharks a 2-1 lead. In the second period, Fabio Mazzetto would get his first goal of the year, a power play goal from Granlund and Toffoli. 8 minutes and 26 seconds of that same, the second period, I should say. What?
Goal? That's what I heard. Goal?
Toffoli?
No, goal. You're supposed to say goal, but you said goal.
Goal?
Yeah.
Maybe I got an accent. Barclay Goodrow will get his first goal as a San Jose Shark, unassisted, a shorthanded marker with 2 minutes and 23 seconds, making it 4-1 in favor of the Sharks heading into the third period.
Goodrow.
Thank you. Radek Faksa, who was acquired in the offseason from the Dallas Stars, will get his first goal of the year from Walker, 2 minutes and 54 seconds of the third, making it 4-2. Ryan Sutter, another new acquisition the Blues got in the offseason, will get his first goal as a member of the Blues, assisted by Torpachenko, 6 minutes, 11 seconds of that period, making it 4-3. And with just under a minute to go, 47 seconds to be exact, Justin Falk would tie things up from Thomas and Kyrou. This game would need overtime. The captain himself, Braden Shen, would lead the Blues to a comeback victory, getting his first goal of the year from Parayko and Rob Thomas, just 45 seconds into the overtime frame. So the Blues would come back after being down 4-1. They would win the game 5-4. They start the season 1-0-0, and for the Sharks, They still get a point, but the loss definitely stings. They're 0-1. All right, that takes care of Thursday's recap from the NHL season. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always,
take care.
Take care.